Hi, my name is Sophie, and I'm from Ohio. Please like and subscribe. In my small town, I was known as the kid with the perfect mom. She raised me alone after my dad left us, and she was so stunning that she became a famous model. Everyone admired her beauty and strength. Mom loved looking and being perfect. She always dressed us up in matching amazing outfits. And once I joined school, she threw parties for my classmates and their parents all the time. We were the most popular family in the first grade. But when the party was over, she was a very different person. She was obsessed with doing crazy skin routines and clicking pictures. If I wanted to hang out with her, she would make me join her dumb photos. One time, she actually dressed up as Mary, and I was her little kitten. She posted that photo all over the internet for weeks. Whenever I spoke to people in school, they just said,
Meow.
"No way, I was hanging out with Mom anymore." I had plenty of friends to spend time with. Even after that embarrassing kitten photo, I was always off at sleepovers with my friends. Until one day when I was in the second grade, Mom gave me some bombshell news.
I'm pregnant. I'm gonna have a baby.
I screamed with excitement. I'm gonna be a big sister.
Yes,
Who's her dad?
not important.
When baby June was born, I held her in my arms and refused to let go. Mom threw a massive party at home to celebrate her, and everyone fell in love with her adorable blue eyes and cur. But as June grew up, I realized something was wrong with her. If someone wasn't standing directly beside her, she would start crying like a banshee. She constantly bumped into furniture, and if I kicked a ball away from her, she'd take forever to find it, even though it was in plain sight. We took her to a doctor and found out that she had no vision in the center of her eye. She could only see on her sides. Her condition was called Stargardt disease, and unfortunately, it have a cure. Eventually, she had to get her the bulky glasses. They didn't fix her vision completely, but they helped. I got ready for big sister duty. I chose June's outfits every day, walked her to school, and destroyed anyone who dared to look at her wrong. None of the kids in June's class wanted to be friends with her, so I asked Mom to throw a party for her classmates, just like she used to for me. But Mom said,
I'm too busy with work. Besides, June has you. She doesn't need anyone else.
By the time I was in 7th grade, June came everywhere with me. She came to my sleepovers, went to the movies with my friends, and we all stayed up doing each other's hair. I thought we had so much fun, but one day, I came out into the backyard to see that June wasn't wearing her glasses anymore. My friends were throwing them around like a ball. I took her glasses back from my friends and screamed at them like crazy.
It was just a game.
Get out of my house! Get out! How could they be such jerks? After that day, they uninvited me to all their parties, and they started ignoring me in school. They even made me sit at the unpopular table at lunch. In just one night, I'd become a complete loner. Whatever I didn't need, their terrible energy and their behavior made June feel really bad. One day, I saw her talking to some kids in the neighborhood without her glasses on. When I asked her to wear them, she threw them at me.
No, I'm finally making friends.
June, you could get really hurt.
Go away, self.
She ran away from me and started crossing the street. A car was coming really fast, and it was gonna hit her. I just knew it. I flew towards her, but I was too slow. Just as I prepared for the worst, a boy suddenly grabbed June and pulled her off the road. I was so relieved. My knees melted. The boy placed June before me and gave me his hand.
Are you okay?
Are you an angel?
Excuse me.
I mean, hello! I got myself together and thanked him for his help. His name was Philip, and he was the bravest person I'd ever met. He was new to our neighborhood, and he was going to join our school. We became friends instantly, like puzzle pieces fitting together. And the best part, he was amazing with June. He was never mean to her, and he said her glasses made her look like a cool superhero. When I was in the 10th grade, Philip asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes, faster than the speed of light. I was so excited for my first relationship, but the only problem was that we never got time alone. June was always with us, and while we loved her, it did make some of our dates pretty awkward. When I asked Mom to find a babysitter, she said,
Wow, Sophie, I didn't realize you were tired of your sister.
I am not. I just want one night to myself.
And if this babysitter bullies June, then what? What if she clicks pictures of her and them all over the internet?
That's not gonna happen.
Are you sure?
I remembered my cruel friends and had to bite my tongue. June and I continued to be attached at the hip until one day when something awesome happened. She got invited to a sleepover by some girls in her class.
I really want to go by myself. Pretty please?
Yes, this was perfect timing. There was a massive party at my friend's house that night, and the whole school was gonna be there. I dropped June off at her friend's house and joined Philip at the party I'd been there for only an hour. When suddenly the music turned off, I looked up to see Mom standing on stage.
Sophie, where are you?
Mom!
June just got into a huge fight at a friend's house. How could you put a party over your own sister? You're so selfish.
My jaw hit the floor. The whole school was watching as Mom marched me back to her car where June was sitting in tears. Why would you get into a fight?
She called me an instant insect, and they broke my glasses. See?
Did you hit her hard?
I broke her nose.
Good girl. She defended herself. She's okay, Mom.
Nothing is okay. I had to go get her because you wouldn't pick up your phone, and now I have to spend thousands of dollars to buy another one of those ugly glasses. Her classmates hate her even more now. Is this what you wanted?
Of course not.
Do you like that you're popular while your sister keeps getting bullied?
Stop it. None of that is true. I knew Mom was wrong, but everything she said made me feel so guilty. Why did I have to go to that stupid party? Mom grounded us both for the entire summer break, and Philip came over to meet me at home.
You got grounded just for going to a party?
Well, I left June alone, so...
You're her sister, not her mom.
You don't get it. I knew she had trouble making friends. I should have been there for her.
You're literally with her every second while your mom's always busy.
She's a single parent. She has to work.
She can't find a babysitter. For some reason, she makes you do everything for her. She embarrassed you in front of the whole school, and then she grounded you. Sophie, she sounds terrible.
I gasped and slapped him. You can't say that to me. She's the only parent I have. Tears filled my eyes, and I stormed away. If he couldn't understand my family situation, I didn't want to be with him. I was too thick-headed to see how right he was. Until one day, when I was in the 11th grade, and the school principal called me to his office. Jun was there too. What happened now? They told me that.
June was a genius. She had a 145 IQ.
Wow.
She can go to any school for gifted kids in the country, with a full scholarship. And June has chosen the school in New York City.
What? Why New York? Isn't there a school in our state?
Yes, but I choose New York.
I pulled June aside after the meeting. You want to go away? Why?
Why should I stay here so you and Mom can keep being embarrassed of me?
What?
I love you, Sophie, but I'm tired of being the blind idiot you're forced to take care of.
June, you're my sister. I do things for you because I love you.
I've seen you lose friends and boyfriends for me, while Mom acts like I don't even exist. I'm sick of being a burden. I'm leaving you, and Mom can finally be free.
I was numb with shock. June was gonna be alone in another state. My relationship with Mom was beyond repair, and June was packing up all her stuff. Everything in my life was falling apart. One day, June brought me to her room, and Philip was sitting inside. What is this?
I'm leaving now, and you're Sophie's next best friend. So, stop fighting, work it out.
She locked us in her room, the little minx. Well, you were right. My mom is a terrible person, and I was an idiot.
You weren't an idiot.
You were the only one who was nice to June, and I was horrible to you. I'm so sorry, Philip.
You were dealing with a lot, Sophie. I understand. And June's leaving now.
I just don't know how she's gonna live without me. I feel scared.
She'll be fine. Look at this.
He showed me the pamphlets and website for the school, and once I calmed down, the place looked amazing. They had so many fun activities, and there was a whole section just for differently abled students. Some kids in the photos were wearing glasses just like Jun's. Suddenly, I knew I had to let her go. When June came back to her room, I pulled her into a tight hug. I wish I could keep you with me forever, but I think this school is a good choice. You deserve better than this stupid town.
Really, I just wanted to stop being a burden to you.
Don't you dare call yourself that again. You were never a burden to me, June. You'll always be the greatest gift I ever got.
Sophie, I love you.
I love you more.
I love you most.
When going outside, always remember to have an adult with you and never cross the street alone. Protecting yourself is the most important thing.
Hi everyone, my name is Harper and I'm from New York. Please like and subscribe. I was born to a super rich single mom who was a successful businesswoman. She was a very hardworking lady but loved me just as much.
Hey, sweetie, what do you want for dinner tonight? After that, we can go buy your favorite doll.
But ma'am, the way to downtown is blocked off right now.
Then get the helicopter ready. Because there's no way I'm not making something special for my girl's 5th birthday. Grab anything you like.
Oh, Mommy, I love you. She was the best. But unlike her, I was kinda shy. The next morning, she even used a helicopter to take me to school on my first day. Thanks to that, I instantly became super popular. But things took a strange turn soon after. One time when the teacher asked me to recite a poem in front of the whole class, I was already super nervous. But just then, a kid pointed at me and screamed.
Look at her face! She looks like an eggplant about to burst.
and then all the kids started pointing and laughing. I quickly ran to the washroom to check what was going on, and when I looked in the mirror, I freaked out. Ah! My face was really purple. The teacher found out and immediately called my mom, saying I had some psychological issues, so she took me to the doctor.
I'm afraid your daughter might have a rare condition that causes her face to turn really purple whenever she's nervous or excited.
No, why? I felt really sad when the doctor said there was no permanent cure, and I'd have to get used to it. Mom tried to lift my spirits, but I wasn't feeling good about myself. When we got home, I ran to the garden because I wanted to be alone. But there I saw Levi, a maid's kid struggling to climb up a tree. What are you doing here?
My ball got stuck on the tree and I can't get it back.
Give me a leg up and we can get it! But as soon as I took the first step, my foot slipped and we both fell to the ground. Embarrassed, my face turned purple. Gosh, he's about to laugh at me.
Wow, you can change colors like a superhero. You're awesome.
Oh, really? And his words gave me so much confidence. After that day, Levi and I became really close. Since Mom was mostly busy, we spent all our time playing together. I realized Levi was super smart. He even helped me with my homework. And when Mom saw this, she enrolled him at my school too. But as we grew up, the kids at school always made fun of him for being a maid's son.
Oops, my juice spilled on the floor. We need to call your mom to clean it up, Levi.
You!
I heard people say your mom's the Minister of Cleanliness and Sanitation. I'm sure she can do the job better.
And you want to clean up for his mom, huh? Jerk rich brat. How dare you?
She looked like her head was on fire, but I didn't care. I won't let anyone talk like that to my best friend on my watch. But over time, my purple disease started to bother me more. Levi would tell me not to pay so much attention to it. But he was a boy. So every time I saw a guy who was a total babe, I'd try to imagine my grandpa in a weird costume.
Ew.
And that would calm my excitement. One day, I was walking with Levi in the garden when Mom called me in, and I found her standing next to a really cute guy around our age.
Harper, this is James, my bestie's son. He's new here. Maybe later you can show him around the city.
We started talking, and he seemed like a nice guy. Levi's mom walked over with a cake and tea on the tray, and suddenly she tripped on the carpet. The glasses and cake went flying straight at James's face, who jumped up from his seat.
You stupid maid! Are you blind? Gosh, look what you've done. This shirt is worth more than your whole year's salary.
Just then, Levi walked into the room angrily, but before he could say anything, his mom signaled him to stop. She immediately apologized to James, and Mom told her to go. As James went away to change, I wish I'd said something, but I didn't want to make the room even more tense. And later, I took him out reluctantly to show him around the city. As we were walking down a street after dinner, he suddenly took my hand.
Harper, I had a great time with you today. How about we end this beautiful night with a kiss?
No, thank you!
Ah, monster, your face is purple, weirdo.
My face was all purple because I was so mad, and I slapped his stupid face so hard. This was the worst evening of my life, you moron! Stay away from me! Later that night, when I reached home, Levi was nowhere to be seen, and I knew where I'd find him. The garden. Hey, what are you doing here by yourself?
Oh, you're back from your date with that jerk. I would have punched him if Mom hadn't stopped me. By the way, did you two kiss?
Yep, of course! I slapped him right across the face when he tried to do that.
What? Did he say something to you? Are you okay?
I'm fine! And I should have slapped him earlier when he talked to your mom like that. By the way, you look cute when you're jealous.
Jealous? Who said I was jealous?
I turned towards him and he gave me a big smile. And I couldn't help but kiss him. It was my first kiss and it felt amazing. A couple of days later, I went into Mom's room to ask her something, but I found her looking really worried. What's wrong, Mom?
Hi, so honey, one of the heirloom necklaces that I wear at this fundraising event every year is missing.
What? We should call the police immediately!
I've already informed the police and I'm having the guards look into it too, honey.
The necklace had been in our family for generations, and it was freaking expensive. Mom had the security team looking into the CCTV footage, and it turned out that Levi was the one who'd entered and left Mom's room late at night. No, it couldn't be! When the guards went and searched Levi's and Mom's room, they found the necklace in one of the drawers. Levi, you stole my mom's necklace?
Harper, are you calling me a thief? How could you even think that? I didn't steal anything.
Then how do you explain this necklace here? If you needed money, you could have just—
I can't believe you turned out to be like all those other rich brats who don't trust me just because I'm poor.
What? How How could you?
That's enough. The evidence speaks for itself. Harper, honey, go back to your room.
I couldn't believe he had the nerve to talk to me like that. After what he did, I stormed back to my room. I didn't want to talk to him ever again. Only my wish came true. Mom told me that evening that Levi and his mom had confessed to their crime. Since Mom had the necklace back, she called off the police, but she fired them. They were gone. Of course, Mom had to do that, but I felt devastated. The next few days, I didn't feel like doing anything except staying in bed and watching Luna Avatar videos. Mom came in and tried her best to cheer me up.
Oh, sweetie, forget about those people. Do you want to go on vacation or go shopping?
No, Mom, I'm fine. Summer break was almost over, and I decided I wasn't spending any more time moping over that loser. I was really going to focus on my studies in the last year of high school. But as soon as I entered my class, I bumped into this new girl who shouted,
Watch where you're going, moron!
"Excuse me! Watch your mouth!" First, she scanned me from top to bottom and then pushed me. I was about to push her back when I heard a familiar voice from behind.
Stay away from her!
I turned around and saw Levi walk towards me. I was certain he'd left the school. I don't need you to take my side, you thief. But he just walked past me and went up to that girl.
Are you okay, Josie?
What? The dancing ducks! He was worried about this new weirdo and not me.
Oh, Levi, she attacked me!
Shut up, she's a liar, she!
Just because you're super rich doesn't mean you can treat everyone like dirt.
What? You don't even know what happened here.
Just stay away from me and my friends.
As if I want to be close to you. And who's this friend? And what are you even doing here?
In case you forgot, I'm pretty smart and I applied for a scholarship, and I don't have to answer your questions.
He took Josie's hand and stormed off. Gosh, he really had a lot of attitude for a thief. I could feel my face turning crazy purple with anger, and I quickly ran off to the washroom to cool off. This whole year was just gonna be awful. I avoided them completely, but seeing that stupid Josie clinging to Levi all the time somehow made my blood boil. A few weeks later, our teacher announced a school trip to a fancy skiing resort, and everyone had to pay $800 for it. As the bell rang and everyone left, Levi walked up to the teacher.
Ma'am, I won't be able to go on the trip because it's my sister's wedding that weekend.
She nodded and he left. He didn't have a sister. I knew he lied because he didn't have the money to go. I caught up with the teacher as she walked out. I have a favor to ask, ma'am. Would it be okay if I paid for Levi's trip? But you can't tell him. Please tell him that the school decided to take all the kids for free. She agreed to do that. And I was so happy when I saw her talking to Levi separately the next day, and his face lit up. On the day of the trip, we were all on the school bus when I heard Levi say to Josie,
Isn't it really cool that the school made this trip free for everyone?
Free! What are you talking about? I paid $800 for it.
Yeah, we all did. What do you mean, man?
Levi looked shocked and then his eyes met mine. Oh God, he caught me!
No, I didn't mean that. I think some snacks on the trip are free.
And when we got to the resort, he immediately pulled me aside and turned to me angrily.
Why did you pay for my trip? And don't even try to deny it. I know you did it.
Okay? Yeah, I did. What's the big deal?
I don't want anyone's charity, especially from someone like you.
What's that supposed to mean? Someone like me? Why are you acting like you don't know me?
I don't know you. You're not who I thought you were.
Oh, yeah, you neither. I walked past him with angry tears. Why had I even bothered? A few days later, there was a dance in school for all the high school students, and my mood instantly turned sour. Seeing Josie pull Levi onto the dance floor and wrap her arms around him, I was so annoyed that I picked a random guy and pulled him to the dance floor too. Whoa! The entire time I could see Levi glaring at me every time I inched closer to that guy. Perfect! But this guy was starting to get a little too comfy. So I pushed him away and walked out. But he followed me outside.
Come on! What's the rush, baby girl? We're not done dancing yet.
Yes, we are. Can you please back off? But he didn't, so I kicked him hard in the knee. Just then, Levi came from behind and punched him.
How dare you try to touch her, you moron!
I pulled Levi away before he could hurt him anymore, and the guy ran for his life.
You had to pick the biggest sleazeball to dance with.
What's your problem? Go cling on to your girlfriend.
She's not my girlfriend. Harper, why can't you be more responsible?
Why do you care? You've been nothing but mean to me since I got here.
Because I'm mad at you. It doesn't mean I don't care. I just can't forgive you because you called me a thief.
Yeah, because you stole my mom's necklace. I saw you on the CCTV.
CCTV? What are you talking about?
I saw you leaving my mom's room the night before on the CCTV camera. And they found the necklace in your room.
What? I went there because your mom called me to discuss your birthday surprise. I have no idea how the necklace got into my room.
What? Mom called you? So why did you confess to the crime if you were innocent?
Confess? No, we didn't. Your mom threatened to throw us in jail if we didn't leave immediately, so we did.
What? Was he telling the truth? Why did Mom do that? I had to find out the truth. When I got home, I went straight to the most trusted maid we had and asked her what really happened. She reluctantly confirmed what Levi had already told me. He and his mom had never admitted they stole the necklace and Mom had simply made them leave. I went straight to Mom's room.
Oh, honey, you're home.
How about? Is it true that you called Levi into your room the night before the necklace went missing?
What? Who said that?
And they never admitted to stealing the necklace? But you said they did. I want to know the truth. Mom, please, no more lies. The look on her face suddenly changed as she fell back into her chair.
Yes, I did. All of that to keep you away from Levi. That's why I introduced you to James. But even that didn't work. When I saw you kissing Levi, I had to do something drastic. I just didn't want you to suffer like I did.
Suffer like you? What are you talking about?
Your father was the son of my dad's driver, and I was so madly in love with him. But soon after I told your dad I was pregnant with you, he ran away with all the money and jewelry in the house. I didn't want you to end up like me. These poor people are all the same.
That's so unfair. Mom, I'm sorry about what you went through, but what you did to Levi and his mom was terrible. They're good people who didn't deserve any of it. I'm not going to forgive you for that.
Harper, please don't say that. I did it because I love you, honey.
Well, you don't make people suffer when you love them. Mom! I shut myself up in my room, refusing to open the door for Mom. And the next day at school, I spotted Levi on his way to class. And I ran to him and hugged him. Oh, Levi, I'm so sorry!
Harper, what happened?
I'm just so sorry. I should have trusted you. And then I broke down and told him everything. I thought he'd be so mad, but he just hugged me.
It's okay, Harper. It's not your fault. What your mom did was awful, but maybe I'll be able to forgive her one day, and you will too. Let's put it behind us, because I've really missed you.
I've missed you too, Levi.
Let me start making up for lost time.
Hi, I'm Rain from Scotland, and this is my story. Please like and subscribe! When I was little, Mom used to tell me I was a grown-up trapped in a child's body. I was different from my twin sister Luna, a typical sand-eating Jell-O sticky kid. From the moment I started kindergarten, I'd help Mom with everything around the house. Laundry, cooking, taking out the trash.
My sweet Rain, you are what we call an old soul.
But I think I only helped Mom out because I was scared our lives would fall apart if I didn't. My dad lay around the house like a sloth all day, dreaming about becoming a famous actor.
I wasn't born to do petty jobs. I'm here to be a great actor, like Michael Jackson.
Dad, Michael Jackson was a singer.
Dad, when you become rich and famous, will you take me to Disneyland? And can I have my own castle?
My princess? I'll buy you a dozen castles.
Obviously, Luna was Dad's favorite daughter because she'd fall for all his lies. When Luna and I were in 6th grade, our parents got divorced. Dad went to the US to fulfill his acting dream. He took Luna with him while I stayed behind with Mom. Dad hardly kept in touch, and Mom and I missed Luna so much. Mom was also having trouble finding a good job. And then one day I had a brilliant idea. Mom, you make amazing cupcakes and cookies. What if you put up a stall at my school carnival next week? Mom loved the idea. And sure enough, her stall was a huge success. From that day on, Mom set up baking stands at the park. And a few years later, she started her own bakery. But she worked long hours, so I was mostly by myself in the house. When I wasn't doing household chores, I was reading or studying. I was the top of my class at school, but I didn't have many friends. On my 15th birthday, my life took a turn. Dad called us with wild news.
Luna is coming back to live with you guys. I'll send her flight details soon.
With that, he hung up without even wishing me happy birthday. But Mom was overjoyed, and so was I. It turned out Luna had been living the life of a billionaire. Dad had married a wealthy woman who lived in a palace. They were sending Luna to us on a private jet. When Luna arrived, all she could talk about was America.
I'm already missing the US so much. It's like the coolest country on the planet.
Apparently, Luna also had a filthy rich boyfriend. She was wearing tons of gold jewelry that he'd bought her.
His name is Nate, and he's a junior in high school. He's even flying in to see me soon.
If your life is so great in America, why'd you move here?
I needed some change. I thought the fresh country air would be good for my skin.
Fresh country air? We live in Glasgow, Scotland's largest city. When we reached home, Mom asked me to show Luna around. That's when she saw the trophies I'd won over the years.
OMG! I see you're still the same nerdy Rain!
If nerdy means having top grades, then yeah, I guess.
If I managed to get a C, I'd treat myself to a spa day. Studying really messes with my brain.
The next few days, all Luna did was sleep or watch dancing videos on her phone while I went to school and did all the chores. I even did her laundry, but apparently that wasn't enough for her.
Iron them for me, too. They're wrinkled.
They're wrinkled because you tossed your clothes on the floor. I was basically a 15-year-old mom raising a royal brat. When Mom enrolled Luna at my school, she instantly became popular as this cool, bubblegum chewing kid from America. Whenever I was with Luna, an army of students followed us everywhere. One time, some girls even followed us into the bathroom. She has to pee. Do you want to watch her do that too? Just then, Luna came out of the stall totally transformed. She'd knotted her shirt way up her waist, exposing her belly, and her knee-length skirt was now barely reaching her thighs.
Come on, girls! Who wants to take some pictures?
The girls queued up for a selfie with Luna. Then they gave her £1 each. What was that?
These girls wanted a photo of me when I told them that my style is the most popular style for girls in the US at the moment. And since Mom gives us peanuts for allowance, I thought this would be the cool way to make some money.
Mom does the best she can. Why do you have to complain about everything?
Why do you always have to play the perfect child? Don't you get bored?
Actually, I do. Some days I want to be just like you, lazing around the house, sleeping like a log, and acting like a jerk. This made Luna so angry that she spat out her bubblegum and was about to stick it in my hair. But I pushed her, and she went flying into one of the cubicles, landing straight into a toilet bowl. Now this is a throne perfect for a spoiled princess like you. Luna and I pretty much ignored each other after that. She spent all her time hanging out with her friends and going to parties every night. And as usual, I was all alone. But on the last day of school, I walked to Mom's bakery and found Luna sitting outside looking upset. Luna, what's wrong?
I'm a failure. A stupid, dumb failure. I flunked all my classes. I have to repeat the 9th grade.
What do you mean you have to repeat the 9th grade? How could you fail all your classes?
Don't you see I already feel horrible? Stop judging me for once.
I fell silent, and after a moment I reached down and helped her up. It's not the end of the world, Luna. Come on, let's go in and help Mom out a little. Luna and I helped Mom out all day. Luna was sweating and exhausted, but Mom was overjoyed with the work we did. She offered us both summer jobs.
You girls did so well today. And Luna, I think having a job will be good for you.
To my surprise, Luna agreed. It took her weeks to get used to working in the kitchen, but after a while, we started having lots of fun. From that day on, Luna and I spent every minute together. I was having more fun and not working as hard. Luna even invited me to her friends' parties. But a couple weeks later, Luna's boyfriend Nate flew in to visit for a few days. He arrived at our house in a limousine with a white horse trotting behind.
I got you your own horse, babe. We can ride him together.
Oh my god! He's perfect! This is so romantic!
Where are we going to keep a horse? We don't even have a stable! Luna ignored me and just walked into the house with Nate. I also found out Nate was obnoxious and bragged non-stop.
It's tough being the son of a billionaire. All the girls want is a piece of this. Someone's going to write my story one day because I'm just too special to be real.
And worst of all, Luna was totally obsessed with him. She would share a chair with him at breakfast and take selfies of them kissing every 5 seconds. I'd started thinking she wasn't all that bad, but she was back to acting as immature as ever and left me working all alone at the bakery. Then one day as I was heading out, I saw Nate standing in the doorway and smiling. Excuse me, I have a job to go to now.
I bet you look adorable in an apron. How about I go with you, beautiful?
Nate leaned in closer and I shoved him away. Get away from me, you creep.
Just one kiss. Luna doesn't have to know.
Luna doesn't have to know what, babe?
Luna put her arms around Nate, but I pulled her away. Your sleazy boyfriend just tried to kiss me behind your back.
Ha 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 ha, you're funny. Rain, but I know Nate and boring and nerdy isn't his type. Don't be jealous. You'll have a boyfriend soon too.
Yeah, don't be jealous, Rain.
Luna and Nate started to leave, but I grabbed Luna's arm. You're such an idiot. I've been at the bakery by myself for the past few days. You have to help out this afternoon.
Okay, sis, I'm just taking Nate to the spa and then I'll come back.
Yeah, drop your cheating boyfriend off at the spa. Luna ignored me, but did come to the bakery later. I left her alone so I could run to the library and study. But an hour later, I got a call.
Rain, come back quickly. The bakery's on fire.
I felt as if someone had pulled the ground from under my feet. I immediately called a fire brigade and rushed back. How did this happen?
I don't know. I was baking cupcakes, but the batter overflowed and first the oven caught fire. And then...
Luna, how stupid can you be?
It was an accident. I'm sorry.
Just then, Mom arrived on the scene too. The fire brigade managed to put out the fire, but by then, everything was lost. No one had dinner that night. Mom's eyes were puffy from crying. But neither Luna nor Nate said a word. It's okay, Mom. We'll build everything again.
But it will take months. How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to send you girls to school?
I hugged Mom and stayed with her the whole night while Luna shut herself up in her room with Nate. Nate was leaving the next afternoon. Before his flight, Luna blindfolded him and led him to our back alley.
Ta-da! I bought you a car, babe!
Are you serious? How'd you get me a car?
My dad sends me a huge allowance. I spent all of mine on this car for you.
Are you kidding me? That money could have helped pay off damages to Mom's bakery that you burnt down.
I ordered the car a month ago and Rain, the bakery fire was an accident. I already feel horrible about it, but you keep making me feel worse.
I don't think you feel bad at all. You never even apologized to Mom while you were living your perfect fancy life with Dad. It was really hard for Mom to start her business from scratch, and I always had to be an adult, and you'll always be a spoiled brat who wrecks everything. I spent the next 13 hours studying like crazy, and when I wasn't studying, I tidied my room. I had to get my mind off Luna, and I had to stop worrying about Mom. Finally, at night, Mom came into my room.
Sweetie, take a break and relax.
How can I relax? We lost the family business in a fire because Luna's an irresponsible lunatic.
It's not that simple, Rain.
What do you mean?
Honey, Luna got diagnosed with bipolar disorder last month. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to worry you. People who are bipolar do crazy things sometimes. Then they get really tired and sometimes even sad. It's why Luna sleeps so much and has trouble doing schoolwork.
What? Why would you guys hide that from me?
It was her decision. And honey, trust me, Luna feels terrible about the bakery. Go easy on her, okay?
That night, I couldn't sleep. Why hadn't Luna told me about her condition? Was I a bad person for getting mad at her? The next day, Luna knocked on my door while I was studying.
Mom said she told you about my diagnosis. I'm sorry I kept it a secret from you. I was just so ashamed.
But why, Luna? I'm your sister.
Yeah, my perfect sister who never makes mistakes or fails at anything. I came back to you guys because Dad and his wife couldn't handle having me around. You don't know what it's like to be a disaster like me.
I ran over to hug Luna. I had no idea she'd been suffering, and I'd been so tough on her.
Oh, also about Nate. I'm taking back the car from him and giving the money to Mom. I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. I caught him texting with some other girl too.
He's a jerk!
Hi, I'm Layla, and I figured out two things very early in life. One, my older sister Fiona is dumb. And two, she really hates me. Fiona is a year older than me, but it didn't take me too long to catch up with her. I was talking before she did, and I learned how to read while she was still struggling with the alphabet. My parents loved showing me off, and I think it really bothered Fiona.
Sweetie, why don't you recite the poems you learned for our guests?
Layla, tell your aunt the cool thing that you read in your encyclopedia yesterday.
Just then, Fiona came running, wearing her bathing suit over her clothes.
Look at me! I look like a mermaid in my baby soup!
Your what?
My baby soup, Mom. Baby soup? This, You don't understand anything I say. Oh, just help me take it off. It's stuck in my limbo.
I think she's saying her bathing suit is stuck in her elbow, Mom.
Oh, I see, Layla. You're so bright, silly Fiona.
Did I mention that? I sometimes taught Fiona the wrong words because it was funny when she sounded stupid? Yeah, I'm not very proud of that now. But that's not the only reason she hated me. I was the only one in my family with red hair, and my parents loved it, especially Mom, who would do all sorts of hairstyles.
Layla, your hair looks so magical. Let's try braids today.
You know why it looks magical? Because she's a leopard clown.
You mean a leprechaun? She told me all the time that my parents pretended to like my red hair, so I wouldn't feel bad.
When you were born, Mom and Dad cried tears of ugliness for days. They even tried to give you up for adoption. No one wanted you.
And one time she even tried to chop my hair off. And things got worse when in 8th grade she failed a class and ended up being with me. As if our parents weren't enough, our history teacher, Miss Sheldon, loved comparing her to me in front of everyone.
Your assignment is just appalling, Fiona. Did you see your sisters? Magnifique! Why can't you be more like her? Didn't you do any research?
What's there to research? Someone ugly said something dumb to someone boring a long time ago. And then some lame war broke out. Who cares about this stuff? A person who wants to have an educated mind? Who cares what's on the inside when the package is this pretty? Looks are not important. Huh? That's ugly people talk. Did your boyfriend ever say that? Oh, wait. I bet you've never had one. Detention. Now.
The next day before history class, I saw Fiona putting a mug of coffee on Miss Sheldon's table. While everyone else was snickering, I was instantly suspicious. Fiona, what are you up to?
What? I'm just trying to make up for my behavior yesterday.
What did you put in there?
I don't know. Maybe some spit, maybe some laxative, maybe both. Who can say?
Just then, Miss Sheldon walked in, and Fiona handed her the mug sweetly with an apology. But I tried taking it away from her. I really don't think you should have that.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea.
Why? Is there something in the coffee? Layla, tell me now.
No, I just don't think you need to drink coffee. It gives you really bad breath. Give that to me, please. I ended up spilling the whole thing on her white coat.
Oh my god, you dumb butt kisser. You ruined my whole plan.
The next thing I knew, I was in detention too, with Fiona for the very first time in my life. But suddenly, Fiona was freaking popular. No one liked Miss Sheldon much, and everyone thought Fiona was super cool for trying to mess with her. And now she was using her newfound power to turn everyone against me. She was the beautiful, fun blonde, and I was the red-haired, nerdy sister being called things like Carrot Top and Ketchup Head. Boy, could girls be mean. Eventually, the teasing got old, or I just learned to ignore it. But soon I was given an assignment in history class to do a presentation on Scotland. The more I studied, the happier I felt. There were so many cool red-headed Scots, and I definitely felt better about my hair. Before class, I went to the bathroom to change into a kilt. I had spent hours making it just for the presentation. But just then, my sister walked in. She pulled out her phone and started taking pictures.
Going back home, Leprechaun.
Buzz off, Fiona!
You look so stupid. What is that? A cool girl skirt?
It's a kilt. Get out of my way!
You can't leave yet. Leprechauns can't travel without a rainbow.
With that, she pulled out some paints from her backpack and squirted them all over my outfit. I ran out of the bathroom, crying angry tears. Fiona did get detention, but it was her millionth time, and she didn't give a hoot. The next year, I got a fresh start. Our dad had gotten a new job across the state, which meant I was going to a new high school. I was determined to end the teasing that my red hair gave me. Hey, Mom, now that I'm 16, I think I should get to make some choices about my hair. I'd like to change the color.
But your hair is beautiful, sweetie.
I know you like it, Mom, but I just want to try something a little more mature, you know?
I guess if that's what you want, you're growing up so fast.
Thanks, Mom! I ran straight to the store and bought a box of black hair dye, and it worked. My hair was dark and silky. No more red.
Do you think that'll fool anyone? You can't cover up what you are, little leprechaun.
Whatever, Fiona. Don't you have something stupid to do? Go away!
Just saying. The truth always comes out.
The first day of school was like a dream come true. No one said anything about my hair. I blended right in and even got a few compliments on my cute outfit, which I'd added some accessories to myself. Fiona was right back in with the cheerleaders, but this was the first time she and I were in a co-ed school, and being around boys was making her even dumber.
The football captain and I went out last night, but he never called or texted me back. I don't get it. I think he was even hiding from me in school.
Okay, how did the date go?
It was amazing, like we were meant to be. There was just one awkward moment when this weird girl came to our table and started flirting with him. And I bit her hand really hard. I'm sure she got the message that he's not interested in her. He was just too nice to say it.
You scared him off, you psycho! How about you don't act like a jealous, blood-sucking vampire next time? But she continued her serial dating and getting heartbroken, and I was getting sick of her stories. It's not like she took my advice. Other than that, school was going great. I was doing well in my classes and had even joined the drama club as a costume designer. A play was being held soon, but the main actor fell ill right before the performance. I had to make sure his understudy fit in the costume, but I didn't even recognize him. I ran frantically through the dressing room shouting, "Hey, Is there anyone named Skylar here?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, I need you to take off your clothes right now. He grinned, and I blushed as people around us started laughing. I didn't... Okay, wait. Let me start over. You need to try this on right now, and I have to make sure this fits you. I'm the costume person, not a pervert.
I know, I've seen you around, Layla. Right. I'll just change into this and be right back.
This Skylar was freaking cute, and he knew my name. His shirt was missing a button, and my heart was skipping beats as I stitched it on. There! You're all set!
Thanks, Layla. Wish me luck.
Break your legs. A leg? Only one? Single. Just a figure of speech, anyway. Ugh, gosh, I sounded dumber than Fiona. So I was quite surprised when Skylar came and sat next to me at recess the next day. He was funny and sweet, and I was having a great time talking to him.
By the way, I'm part of the student council, and currently we're deciding on a theme for the homecoming dance. Any ideas? I can never think of anything other than sports themes.
If you like sports, maybe you could do the Scottish Highland Games.
Wow, I love Scottish stuff. This is a really good idea. Thanks, Layla.
Just then, Fiona dropped her butt right next to him.
Mind if I join your table? I'm Fiona, Layla's sister.
Don't mind at all.
Also, I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. Homecoming is all about the football games. We should totally do a varsity theme. I'll wear my cheerleading outfit. It'll be so cool.
I was fuming. I couldn't believe she was butting herself into this too. Didn't she have enough guys to date? They just couldn't let me be happy. I spent the rest of lunch just sitting there and listening to them talk about school sports. A couple of weeks passed, and neither Skylar nor Fiona talked to me. But I was busy with my studies and my friends, and I was happy for a change. I wasn't going to be bothered by some guy I barely knew. But then one day, Skylar stopped me in the hall on the way to class.
Hey Layla, wait up. Sorry, I haven't been around much. I've been super busy getting everything ready for homecoming week.
Oh yeah, it's whatever. I've been really busy too.
Well, I hope you're not too busy to maybe go to the dance with me. I mean, if you aren't going with anyone else.
The dance? With you? I'd love to.
Great, I'll meet you there.
I couldn't believe it. No teasing, new friends, and even a date to homecoming? I was practically skipping everywhere the rest of the day until I got home.
Word around school is that Skylar asked you to homecoming?
Yeah, and?
Well, I'm here to tell you that he isn't going with you. He is going with me.
Says who?
Says this.
She held up her phone and showed me the picture she had taken of me in a kilt with my bright red hair. Hey, get rid of that!
Tell him you can't go with him, or I show this picture to the entire school.
No, don't you dare!
It's up to you.
Fine. I didn't want to go to that stupid dance anyway. The next day at school, I told Skylar I wasn't going to go to the dance with him. He tried to change my mind, but there was no way I was going to let him see that picture of me. He looked a bit hurt, and I felt awful, but I didn't have a choice. The night of the dance, I tried to stay home. But the thought of Fiona laughing and having fun with Skylar made me feel like I might explode. I quickly got ready, then sped my car to the dance. I burst through the doors and saw Fiona dancing, surrounded by her friends. But I didn't see Skylar anywhere. Just then, there was a hand on my shoulder.
Layla, I thought you couldn't make it.
Yeah, me too, 'cause I was scared.
Scared of what?
Of you finding out the truth. Fiona was beside us with her phone in her hand. Within a few seconds, everyone's phones were going off, including Skylar's. He pulled it out of his pocket and opened a message. And there was that picture of me. She had sent it to everyone.
Wait, is that you, Layla?
You know what? Yeah, that is me. I dyed my hair black, but it's actually red as a tomato. And if you hate it, then you're all just shallow and stupid.
Hate it? I love it.
What?
Layla, you're cool the way you are.
So are you. May I have this dance? You may just give me 1 second, though. Listen, you bimbo. I've kept putting up with you and making excuses for your behavior, but I've had enough. You tried your best to humiliate me, but it was an epic failure, so in your face. Now please get a life and act less desperate, and I'm sure you'll be able to land a boyfriend with the same IQ as you. Just leave me alone, okay? That weekend, I took the dye out of my hair, and Fiona dyed hers red. But it wasn't real, not like mine. I was beautifully red-headed and very happy to be me.
Hi, friends. My name is Anna, and I'm from LA. Before I tell you my story, please like and subscribe. I used to live in a tiny apartment with my dad, but he wanted to give me everything in the world.
Sweetheart, I promise you I'll give you the world. You'll have everything that I didn't have in my childhood. I will make you so happy.
But Daddy, I am so happy. See, Dad fulfilled his promise and worked hard. He became one of the most successful businessmen in the country, and I couldn't be prouder. Dad loved spoiling me. He'd get me all the latest gadgets, collectible Barbies, and I even had a theme park inside our mansion. I had everything and lived the life of a princess. But there was just one thing missing. My mom. Ever since I was a little girl, I was so curious about my mom, and whenever I'd ask him about her, he'd tell me how it was her loss that she left us. On my 5th birthday, Dad threw us the most lavish party ever. He went totally overboard and had ponies and even hot air balloons. I was having a wonderful time with my friends, but when I was in the jumping castle, a kid was being super pesky and kept bumping into others. When he pushed me, I pushed him back, and he ended up falling out of the jumping castle in an instant. His mom came running and hugged him so tight.
Oh my God, my dear, are you hurt?
She then glared at me and said,
If your mom hadn't left you, maybe she could have taught you some manners.
I felt so crushed. Even though it was that kid's fault, and he wasn't hurt bad, his mom was so worried she lovingly swept him into her arms and left. It was at that moment I realized that leaving me was not my mom's loss, but mine. And then I ended up throwing the worst tantrum ever. When Dad brought my giant cake out, I kicked the table. I don't want this. I want my mommy. Daddy, give me my mommy. Everyone was stunned to see me acting out, and then the party was over. Later, when Dad came to tuck me into bed, he gave me a gift.
I wanted to give you this when you were older, but I know you need it now.
It was a locket with a picture of my mom. It was the first time I was seeing her picture, and it made me so happy. Every night, I kissed her picture and vowed to find her someday. Mommy, one day when I grow up, I promise I'll find you, and I'll be so good you'll love me. One time I was at school, and we were going for swimming lessons. The teacher asked everyone to remove any watches and jewelry we were wearing, but I just couldn't remove Mom's locket. Teacher, can I keep my locket on, please?
Why?
It's the only thing I have of my mom. I never take it off. Hearing this, the teacher squeezed me into a hug, and all the kids looked at me with such sad eyes.
Oh, I am so sorry, Anna. I didn't know. My heart aches for you. Sweetie, you can keep wearing that locket.
After that day, everyone seemed kind of extra nice to me in class. They'd offer me the best seat during lunch. Everyone wanted to sit with me and would even share their lunch with me.
Anna, try this. My mom made it especially for you. When I told her about your mom, she so wanted to cook this for you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Even in class, the teachers were extra sweet to me. One time, we were having a test, and I just coughed, and my teacher went all emotional on me saying that I didn't need to take the test.
Okay, that was awesome because I wasn't prepared.
With a smile, I left the class, but during lunchtime, Bella came over to me. She was like the meanest girl in our school.
Anna, don't you get sick of your sob story every time? It's, I don't have a mommy. Always taking sympathy from teachers and other kids. You're such a drama queen. No wonder your mommy ran away from you.
God, her words made my blood boil, but it also hurt me so much I felt I would start crying. But just then, someone spoke. It was Isaac, the scholarship student at her school.
Come on, Bella, you have your entire life to be a jerk. Why not take off today? Leave her alone.
Bella just rolled her eyes and checked her nails.
You know, Isaac, you and Anna, you're both pretty much alike. She uses her mommy story, and you use your oh I'm so poor story so people will have pity on you. So pathetic. That did it.
I never wanted anyone's sympathy or pity. Without even thinking twice, I grabbed Bella's hair, and then she did too. We both were fighting like crazy. Later, we were taken to the principal's office. I was expecting to get detention, but she only punished Bella, and that really pissed me off. Why didn't I get punishment? I also pulled her hair.
Anna, we know you're a good student. Bella has had many complaints against her. It's time she faces the consequences of her actions. I am going to expel her.
Whoa! I knew the principal was taking pity on me. I stormed out of the office, but was totally surprised to see how many kids gathered outside looking at me with gooey eyes. Is everything all right? Why are you guys looking at me so weirdly?
Weirdly? Anna, it's pure adoration. You saved us. You're like the first girl to show Bella her place. It was so cool.
The look on her face felt like a cherry on top of a cake. Okay, I sure wasn't expecting this. After that day, Isaac would follow me around everywhere. Not just Isaac, but so many other kids too. They treated me like some sort of leader, and I was in no way a leader. All the time I would be getting praises and compliments, and it was kind of getting on my nerves.
Oh, Anna, your skin. It's so beautiful.
Anna, can you teach me how you solve that math equation? I know you study smart instead of studying hard. I don't want to be like you.
Since I liked music, there was one time in art class, I was just humming a song when all of a sudden Isaac put me in the spotlight.
Oh my god, that was the sweetest voice I have ever heard. Come on, guys, let's hear it from Anna.
No, zip it, Isaac. But then everyone started chanting my name like I was some pop star. Even the teachers mustering all my courage. I sang, and everyone clapped so loud for me. Okay, that was weird because I was just a normal singer, nothing extraordinary, but everyone treated me as if I was something special. As if things couldn't get any weirder, my classmates chose me as the class president. The surprising thing was that I never participated. I didn't have any clue how to be a class president, but Isaac was there for me. Turned out he was a really nice guy and helped me every step of the way. Isaac and I became best friends. The guy was totally my support system, always there for me. When we were in high school, Isaac started working in a cafe as a barista, and I loved hanging out there. One time when I was at the cafe, Isaac made his signature coffee for me. But just then, I saw someone enter the cafe, and I dropped the cup. It was Mom. I could recognize her face in a million faces. She had 2 kids with her, and the moment Isaac saw her, he greeted her and called her Emily. I felt like my whole world was standing still. I came out of my stupor when I saw one of her kids run out of the shop, and that's when I bolted. Hey, stop, get back in here. No. The kid just stuck out his tongue at me and was about to run onto the road, but thank God I lunged forward. I grabbed his shirt and pulled him back, and right then a truck passed by. That was close, really close. Right then Mom came out and thanked me.
Oh my God, thank you so much. You saved my baby. You're an angel.
No problem. I just turned to leave, but Mom grabbed my shoulder. I thought she'd recognize me, but it was something else.
So you work here? You seem like someone who can handle kids. Can you babysit my boys? I'll give you a letter of recommendation once you're done. I'll pay you well too.
Oh my God, how could I say no to that? I instantly agreed. I started working at Mom's place, and it had been 3 days, and I totally loved it. She lived in a big mansion, but that was nothing compared to where Dad and I lived. I was pretty amazed to see Mom's life. She loved makeup and posted her videos on Instagram, and her husband seemed like a nice guy who really loved her. Every night before leaving, I would see Mom tucking the twins into bed. She would snuggle them and shower them with kisses. It was adorable, but it always made me feel a tad bit jealous. In a few weeks, the twins and I started to get along just fine, and Mom was so happy, telling me how they never liked babysitters, but had started to love me. Why wouldn't they? I was their big sister. There was one time Mom had to go out, and when she returned, I was totally drained, and she felt bad for me.
Oh, honey, I am so sorry I got late today. I'll pay you extra today. And what have the twins done to your hair? Come on, I'll give you a makeover. Have you looking like a supermodel.
Makeover? Wow, I would love that. Mom then put on some light makeup and did my hair just like she did hers. But once she was done, she looked at me so shocked I wondered why. And looking at my reflection in the mirror, I knew the answer. I looked just like her. I wish you would notice how much we were alike. Notice me?
Wow, you are a very pretty girl.
Just like you. I mean, of course, you did my makeup and hairstyle like yours. So that's why I look so pretty.
Perhaps. But girl, you are a natural beauty.
After that day, I felt like Mom's eyes were constantly on me. Every time I'd be doing something with the twins, I would catch her staring at me, and then she'd look away. I knew something was on her mind, but she never said anything. There was one time when Mom was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the twins and offered me one too. PB&J makes me puke. No way!
Really? Same. I hate them too. I didn't realize we're so much alike.
Yeah, perhaps. Mom looked at me for a few seconds and then blurted,
Anna, what's your father's name?
My heart started to beat so fast. Finally, she had realized who I was. But just as I opened my mouth, Mom's husband stepped in and kissed her, and I decided to talk to her later. But later that night, I heard noises from Mom's room. I was so worried and went upstairs. But what I heard broke my heart. Mom and her husband were arguing about Mom's first daughter.
You're telling me this now after all these years? You deceived me.
I was so young when I had her. But now things are different. I know I made a mistake.
Yes, a mistake. Mistakes are meant to be forgotten. Just forget her and focus on the now. Your family, your husband, and your boys.
That moment, I realized what I was doing. Mom was happy. She had the perfect life, the perfect family, the perfect husband, and I was ruining it all for my own selfish reasons. I just ran out of the house, and thank God Isaac was waiting for me outside. I instantly hugged him and told him everything. I just want to leave her alone. I can't do this. I can't shatter her perfect life.
But she's your mom too. It's your right to confront her.
Forget about it. Let's go home. That day when I went home, I gave Dad a tight hug. He truly was my world. I decided to get out of Mom's life and let her be, so I started to avoid her calls. She texted me and wanted me to come to her house, but I refused and messaged her saying I had a new job. But a week later, something strange happened. I was in my room when I heard Mom's voice. She was calling my name, and I came running down the stairs and was so shocked to see her. Dad and I both stood stunned, and then Mom came running and swept me into her arms.
Oh my God, I knew it. It's really you, my daughter, my Anna. That day I wanted to talk to you, but you left. Anna, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for my mistakes. Why did you leave without talking to me?
Because I am a mistake. Mistakes are meant to be forgotten.
Oh, darling, please forgive me. I was a fool for thinking so. You are my strength. You are the person who made me a mother. It was foolish of me to abandon you, but I promise, even if I had to fight against the world, I'll never leave your side. I love you so much.
I love you too, Mom. I love you so much.
Hi, I'm Mandy. Please like and subscribe, and tomorrow you will have the best news. Growing up, we moved around a lot because my parents were journalists. I got really good at making friends quickly, but holding on to any of them was tough since I always ended up leaving, no matter how many of my so-called besties promised they'd stay in touch. After a while, they never did. It was heartbreaking every time. One day, Mom came home with big news. She got a job in Washington, D.C. for a national newspaper, and we wouldn't have to move anymore. I was so excited. Finally, I would have rooms of our own to decorate, make friends that would last. It was a dream. When I started at my new high school, I was nervous. I had to make an amazing first impression because this one had to stick. When I sat down at my desk in the homeroom, the other kids looked at me like I was an alien until a pretty brunette girl sat down next to me.
Hey, I'm Jasmine. Love your jeans. Where'd you get them?
A thrift store in New York.
Oh my God. Is that where you're from?
Sort of. I told her all about life on the road, and we hit it off right away. I could tell she was popular, and it was easy to see why. Very involved in all sorts of clubs and sports. So charming, and top 2 of our class. She was always competing for the top spot against this one kid, Chase. She warned me about how annoying he was, and I totally agreed. I was stuck next to him in math class, and he was always talking and distracting me from taking notes. From the second we met, Jasmine invited me everywhere with her and her friends. We did our homework together, ate lunch, had sleepovers. It was amazing! Soon after I started school, Jasmine convinced me to come to her French club to see if I wanted to join. She introduced me to her friend Camille, and we had so much fun. We watched French movies and practiced speaking with each other. I joined immediately. They were going to choose 2 students for a summer study abroad in Paris. I just knew it would be a really smart move for my future. One day, I went to Camille's house to study with her, and suddenly, the cutest boy I'd ever seen walked into her kitchen.
Hey, butthead.
Excuse me?
Sorry, that was meant for my dumb little sister.
Ugh, don't listen to him.
I'm Ryan. You must be the famous Mandy I've heard so much about.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Nowhere better than right where Mandy is.
Then he smiled the most perfect smile I'd ever seen. I could have melted into a puddle right there. The next day at French Club, I told Jasmine all about him. Oh my god, Jazz, he's on the soccer team. Good at school.
Wow, he sounds like
He perfect package. OMG, he's here. She turned to see Ryan walk into the room right then suddenly. Her eyes turned to ice in front of me.
Ryan. He's my ex.
Oh.
But I mean, if you like him, I guess.
No, of course I wouldn't.
Oh, good, because it'd be so weird. I'm so glad we're friends.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to see you again.
Since when are you in French Club?
Since I found out Mandy joined.
It was so awkward I thought I'd die. Just then, Madame Delacroix clapped her hands.
For announcement time for our upcoming Parents' Night, we will be breaking off into pairs to research and cook a classic French dish.
She started group. And surprise! Surprise! I got paired with Ryan. For just a second, I thought I could see the ice return to Jasmine's eyes, but she blinked, and it was gone. I felt sort of guilty that I'd be spending so much time with Ryan, but I vowed to keep my promise to Jasmine. Soon after that, I got assigned to help Chase hand out awards at the banquet. Hanging out with him all night would be the perfect punishment for me. A few days later, Ryan and I had to get together at his house to make chocolate mousse, my favorite.
Have you ever made this before?
No, but I've watched my dad make it, so I think Then I started the mixer. It started whipping everything up so fast that our chocolate mixture started flying out of the bowl. Soon we were both covered in chocolate. I was mortified, but Ryan just laughed and swiped some chocolate off my nose.
Looks good to me.
After we got cleaned up, we managed to make a second batch just in time to make it to the event. Madame Delacroix tasted every dish and said ours was the best of all of them. I was pretty proud, and I hoped it would get me some extra points toward the Paris program. Not even having to sit next to Chatterbox Chase all night could ruin my mood. After that, Ryan started asking me to hang out more and more. Soccer games, study sessions, sometimes even trips for ice cream. He was really funny, and we liked all the same books. I could tell he liked me, and I was really starting to like him. But I couldn't betray Jasmine. When I told my mom about it, she thought I was being ridiculous.
I don't think Jasmine really has your best interests at heart, Mandy.
She was my first friend here.
But that doesn't make her a good friend. What kind of friend keeps you from being with someone you really like?
It's girl code, so I was definitely surprised the next day, at lunch, when our group started talking about boys to hear Jasmine exclaim,
Who needs them? I've so moved on from Ryan. I mean, we only dated a few weeks anyway. Mandy, you can have him for all I care.
I was elated to hear her say that, but now I was nervous. I'd never really pursued anyone before, but all the signs were there, and I decided to go for it. Soon after, Ryan hurt his ankle at a soccer match and had to leave the field. We lost. I decided to visit him the next day, especially now that Jazz had given her blessing. When I walked into his living room with some cheery daisies, his whole face lit up, and he pulled me down to the couch in a huge hug. When we pulled away, I felt like I was falling into his beautiful brown eyes. I thought for just a second I might get my first real kiss, but I chickened out. I brought some ice cream too for Sundays.
You're the best, you know that?
We watched TV and ate way too much ice cream, but things felt a little different. He was texting almost constantly, when he usually was always talking to me non-stop. I wondered if I had ruined things by pulling away earlier. I tried to ignore it, but when my mom came to get me, I was sort of glad to leave. For the next few days, I tried to keep my head down and work hard towards the Paris trip, but I was glad for the distraction when Jasmine announced her birthday party to the whole class.
Arcade this weekend. My birthday wish list is on all the invites.
You going?
Of course. Jazz is my best friend.
Sure she is.
Cryptic much. You're so weird. I caught up with her in the hallway after. Can I hitch a ride to your party? This will be so fun. I already have your gift.
My carpool is full already.
Oh, okay. But she was already halfway down the hall, leaving me in her dust. I figured she was just distracted about her party and tried not to think about her weird behavior. I texted Ryan to see if he and Shamil wanted to carpool, but all I got were 3 typing bubbles in response, and then nothing. In fact, I didn't hear anything from anyone all weekend. What was going on Saturday, when my mom dropped me off at arcade, a gift in hand for Jasmine, I pasted a big smile on my face as I got out of the car. Chase waved to me and smiled. He really wasn't so annoying, maybe just a little awkward. As we walked into the party room, imagine my shock when I saw Jasmine's stick standing there holding hands with none other than Ryan. A pit dropped to the bottom of my stomach. When she leaned over to kiss him, I thought I'd die. All I wanted to do was run home and curl up under the covers, but I couldn't. It was Jasmine's birthday, my best friend. Still, I was mortified. Everyone knew I liked him, and they had all seen us spend so much time together. Now, he wouldn't even look at me. As everyone started pairing off and heading to the arcade, I realized I didn't have a partner. Blinking back tears, I suddenly felt a warm hand on my shoulder.
Hey, let's pair up for a round.
Sure. Chase and I played through, and even though I had a pit in my stomach, we actually had a lot of fun. He was pretty good, and even when I danced offbeat, he pretended not to see it. When we went inside for Jasmine's cake, I tried to put on a brave face. But when Ryan leaned over to help her blow out her birthday candles, and Jasmine turned to smile at me with a gleam in her eye like nothing was wrong, I knew I had to leave. I snuck out to the bathroom to call my mom to get me. And as soon as I got into her car, I burst into tears and cried all the way home. And even though Chase texted me to check on me, and Camille did too, the one person who I actually thought would worry enough to reach out never did. I didn't hear from Jasmine until Monday in homeroom.
Mandy, why'd you leave my party? The cake was so good.
Why did I leave? Jasmine?
What?
You have to know why I left.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You knew I liked Ryan. You told me you'd moved on, and all of a sudden you show up with him without telling me.
How can you be mad? He was my boyfriend.
Your ex-boyfriend that you said I could pursue. Why tell me that if you wanted him back all along?
See, this is why we kept it quiet. We knew you'd be upset.
What?
We got back together the day he got hurt at his soccer match. He wanted to tell you, but we all knew you'd just be upset.
So you've just been lying to me for weeks? All of you. Jazz, how am I supposed to trust anything any of you say?
All's fair in love and war.
And with that, she flipped her hair over her shoulder and switched desks. I was devastated. My first real friend. And everything had gotten so messed up. What had I missed? When I saw Ryan walking home from school, I sped up to catch him. What the heck, Ryan? I thought we liked each other. And then you show up like that with Jasmine and totally blindside me.
I didn't know you liked me.
Oh, come on. The ice cream, the flowers. You knew I liked you. There have been several moments and I didn't just imagine that you liked me too.
I did, but you never said anything.
Well, neither did you.
And then when Jasmine came to me after I got hurt saying she wanted to get back together, why would I turn her down when I wasn't even the one to break up with her?
Like me. Don't like me? Fine. But you could have had the decency to say something before just showing up like that and humiliating me. I deserve better than that. I tried to put on a brave face at school. After all, hadn't I been a lone wolf for my whole life? But I'd gotten so used to having a friend at school that I suddenly felt the absence. Luckily, Chase came to sit by me the first time he saw me sitting alone at lunch. I couldn't see why I'd hated him so much for so long, other than the fact that Jasmine didn't like him. He was so sweet and really smart. Even though I avoided Jasmine and Ryan at all costs, I refused to quit French club. As the weather got nicer, Chase tried to get me to come out to soccer games, parties, concerts. But my sole focus was on school. I was more determined than ever to get one of the spots to go to Paris and prayed that Jasmine wouldn't get the other one. Chase became my favorite study buddy. He was almost as determined as I was for me to win the top spot on the Paris trip. On the last day of school, our report cards came out straight A's. Chase and I got big ice cream sundaes after school to celebrate. As I looked across the table at him, I thought about everything that had happened with Jasmine and Ryan and our whole big group, and I decided I was so glad to have one actual good friend instead of a bunch of not-so-great ones. Afterwards, Chase and I walked down the National Mall as the sun set. So, Mr. Number 1 in the class, how does it feel?
I'm just glad to have beat her, to be honest, especially after everything that happened with you.
I can take care of myself.
I know, but from day one you seemed so nice, and I tried to make friends with you so quickly because I knew she'd come after you right away.
What do you mean?
Jasmine and I have been in the same class since kindergarten. She has always kept the girls she was most afraid of close. You know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
But I was never her enemy.
She's always been afraid of the smart, pretty girls in our grade. Even if you don't see it, trust me. To her, you were a threat.
Wow, I had no idea. But if I had to go through all that to become friends with you, it was worth it. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Madame Delacroix. Hello.
Mandy, I'm pleased to inform you that you have been selected for this summer's study abroad in Paris. Pack your bags, mademoiselle. I am so proud.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I mean, merci beaucoup. When we hung up, I squealed. Oh my God! I'm gonna have a stamp in my passport. Suddenly, Chase's phone rang. And when he saw the caller ID, he looked up at me with a gleam in his eye. I could barely contain my excitement. And when he finally said, "Thank you," and hung up, he turned to me with a huge smile.
Looks like I'll have a matching stamp.
Paris? Together? I threw my arms around him, overjoyed to be off on a big adventure with my favorite first real friend.